Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to another new podcast. So today I don't have Sandro, but I have another special character with me. This is actually his program, but he wanted me to host this as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rakinu Pereira. He's a student. He is 19 years old, and he's sitting for his A-level exams this October in this year as well. So he's an athlete as well. He speaks us, and he most importantly gives out good messages in social media. That's why he wanted myself to get collaborated with him as well to speak about a good an issue that is really trending within the youth. So let's talk about it. So Rakanu, first of all, hi, hello, how are you?
Guys, hi Buddmin, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good, Malla. I mean, I'm really honored, and I'm really proud. I'm really honored to interview.
Thank you for having me.
It's like a podcast, an interview. So I'm kind of excited to do it because I'm just like presenting after a very long time, right? So
Thank you for having me.
yes, we just wanted to speak about a really good topic that is mainly focused on drug addiction that is mainly within the youth, right? So what do you think, Rakindu, as a student in the youth, what do you think, how this inception comes within the youth? How did it incept? I mean, what is the start actually? How it is started within the youth?
Yeah, like I actually think, first of all, basically it starts off when a child gets neglected, like mainly when a child gets neglected in class, or maybe a child who gets neglected at home. It all starts where like a child's not being paid much attention, like when a child gets alone, he doesn't have any friends, or he doesn't get good grades, he gets neglected over there, or he doesn't show up in class that much. He spends time like not going to school, prioritizing with his gang members. It just starts off from such a small degree, and it ultimately like comes up to a high stage where like people who are in these like huge gangs start focusing on people like isolated people like him, and they make maximum advantage of him because like they know that he's the type of person who's like weak at mind, so we'll be able to manipulate him to do all our activities that we need to bring through. And I think that's the main start of where a child gets pulled into this whole drug addiction scene.
It's like this, Malla. It's like they are into loneliness, right?
Loneliness, yeah.
It's the start of it, the inception. Like mostly it's loneliness, loneliness. Then sometimes it might not be loneliness. Sometimes it might be because of the environmental. We want to talk about this environmental factor about the gang thing, about kollo seteka, megollo thamai gang siya. So that is a thing. So that is the start. Sometimes that might be the start. How do you think the environmental factor gets engaged with this?
Yeah, I think it's actually one of the most influential factors, because when we take in this perspective, like a lot of gang members like will do anything to get their fame. Like a lot of gang members have the target of stealing things and doing it in that way, because like obviously they are not professional, so they'll do anything to steal and get money, and they'll utilize like a lot of all this, as I said, a lot of these lonely people, and they'll utilize them to get all their dirty deeds done. So as you said, like that whole gang members thing actually plays a huge part in this. Like mainly like in lot of these cases, like people who get caught into custody, who get taken into custody, that's only just a minority of the whole gang, because like behind that person who is arrested, there's like 5 or 6 people who are involved in the latter, but then like they don't get caught because they just like they collect all these lonely people, they build up a community, and then they send off all these all their members to do this activity, that activity, and it's just those individual members that get caught. It's not the whole gang like the whole gang family that gets caught into this. So
it's like this, Malla. People say environmental factor, but sometimes they speak only about the gang, right? Sometimes it might be because of their parents. Their parents might get influenced into it. Their cousins, their brothers and I don't know about sisters, but mostly might be brothers and sisters might be. They can be influential to the people, to the person, to be into drugs, right? So we talked about the environmental factor. We talked about how the inception comes within the youth. And what do you think actually as a youth? What do you think? What is a special message that you can convey to them about having the drug addiction, getting into drugs? What do you think about that? What do you say about it? What do you say about it?
Yeah, first of all, we need to think into ourselves, as a person, taking these, unwanted substances into our body, what good will it do to us? We are just, we're just easing off all our pain just for a minor amount of time. It's just temporary. It's not long term. It's just for a short while, and then it's just some satisfaction only for that time period. But then a true person who actually undergoes those problems, a true person will actually fight through those problems. A true person will actually go through those obstacles in life, because every successful person on this earth has been through a time period where they've faced many obstacles in their life. And I think mainly these people are, I think they're scared. I think they might be scared, or they might be nervous to face these obstacles in life, so they want to take another alternative path through to conquer all this pain, by, as you said, by taking drugs. But I don't think that's a solution, because we should be thinking, if we administer these drugs, it's just temporary, as I said, and what good will it do to us, except just deteriorate our health levels. It's just gonna drop down our health levels, and it won't do us any good. But then if we can think, tomorrow's a new day, tomorrow's a brighter day, tomorrow's a day where I can change myself, tomorrow's a day where I will work hard, and even if it's from the bottom, I'm gonna work from scratch, start from scratch, and I'm somehow gonna come to a good position. I'm gonna bound all these obstacles away. But then the thing is that I think it's just a society being too nervous and being too afraid to go past through these obstacles in life, which I don't think they should be. But as I said,
I can say something for that. Differentiate Malla. Sometimes there are people they face the situation a lot. I know they say to me, I know this is hard, but I will somehow overcome this. There are some people, but there are some people, this is so bad, I can't move on with the situation, I have to do something for it. It's like the using of drugs, it's like shifting from the reality. It's like they are shifting from their own reality, but it's not it's like the start of another problem. It's like arising for another problem, coming with we talk about the environmental factors, coming into it, what you said, it's like sometimes about loneliness, sometimes it might be about less involvement with their family, less engaged with their family, the parents might be not much interactive with the youth, with their kids, and that's how it involves, that's how it comes. It's how it shouldn't be. And even the media, especially the media, so since we are on social media, I believe we should talk about this a little bit more, or how this media influences people, and especially the youth, to take upon drugs, right? So you think as an example. Now you are watching a film, so there's a tagline going on, smoking kills and everything, but we are not even much interested about that. So you think now in a film you have this super kind of a hero or the celebrity that he's a hero of you, and he drinks and he smokes, and you think, all right, this person did this, and I want to try this as well. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, basically, the way I want to categorize that is it's just when you go behind that particular character in a film, it's just a fame, just a fame that particular role gets. So either whatever action that particular person has to do in that role, either just to smoke and look good, to do good, or just to just do bad stuff just to make himself popular in that particular moment, in the movie. I think that's just a total waste, because I think people who actually display this on TV should actually think into a letter, like, because like there are children who are actually watching this at home, and they might take this into consideration, and they'll be like, oh, so this guy is actually the main role of this movie, so I should maybe try and portray him to get fame as much
even
as
like him, he is acting a role in it. He's like, there's a different character. His personal life might be different. We have to differentiate that. People think, alright, this is a real character of himself. Like, even in films, if we do act in social media, people always ask, they like frame you, they like think that you are like that, but it's not. It's different. Our personal life is different. Our social media life sometimes it might be different. I mean, not in speaking, with like acts and everything, with the comedy scenes and everything, it's different. So people should differentiate that.
Yeah, actually, like a lot of like cases where I know a lot of these like famous celebrities, and when they come out onto these talk shows, like they've been like rejected a lot by when they've gone with taxi drivers, or like when they walk out in the public, like people just look at them with the negative with a negative side, so it's actually like those things, like people should learn to think, like learn to differentiate, like as you said, between what's right and what's wrong. I mean, like once they obviously see what is being displayed in a movie, like I mean, they should be able to like take what's good and not take what's not good. So that's all. And another thing I wanted to add in is like about the influential part. So basically, like we're talking about parents, like when it comes to like the home environment, I think a lot of children, like they don't have safe, I call it like maybe it's like home pollution. Like why I say home pollution is because like they're like their homes might be aided with a lot of fights, between the parents, and might be a lot of rage going on, might be a lot of neglection and all that stuff. And when that whole thing is like combined together, the child actually feels like the rage which is being taken between the parents, they feel like taking the rage on somebody else at school the next day when they go. And that's just the whole build up towards the whole being a tough guy, and like then walking out into society as a criminal, like that's just a build up towards the whole thing. And like mainly parents should know how to not just not solve their problems in front of kids, because like a lot of kids actually take that into consideration and actually want to put out their rage, into other kids when they go to school. So I think that's one of the main mistakes that parents do.
This is the thing. The way I think is different. The way you think is different. It's different. Like it's diverse. Yeah. That's why people. I mean, even when we talk about these issues, we might get good comments, we might get bad comments, because it's about being diverse. They are diverse. There's a big diversity in it. So we as people should be accepting humor and criticism, but good points as well. It's always between us. So we talked about especially about social media. We should talk about that, the influence. Like we can influence them in a really good way as well. Now, sometimes I have seen that people do use social media to promote these things as well. And sometimes they do, like I have seen some many social media things, like they have been promoting the bad side of it as well. But it never promote the bad side as well. But it promotes the drug at the end. What do you think about that?
I mean, taking that into consideration, like mainly when we like as you said. This whole thing about this this whole media, like they should actually take a chance to actually step in front and either make a program to actually make a program to actually do a bit of take a bit of your time and actually review on a lot of these cases and how they can be prevented, like how we can actually stop this from happening, but then they just don't do it. Like they just when it comes to for news as an example, they just put out the case that just occurred, and they just leave it out as like that. They don't give they don't give the solution as to what. They just give a reason. They just show the image and they give the reason as to what happened. They don't give a solution. But then we should be able to give a solution. Like they should be able to provide the awareness. And I think like that can be minimized, like if a lot of these private organizations arise in Sri Lanka, like a lot of these private organizations like look upon all these children who are left out, provide. Now let's say like for when we take this whole criminal cases and all this stuff, like there are people who actually like regardless of depression and all, there are people who actually do it, they do all these crimes since they're financially deprived. So I think these private organizations who are wealthy enough, should actually, without investing on other stuff, should be able to invest and build up our society into a much more like a level standard.
Before consultation.
Yeah, bit of consultation, as I said, like this private organization should be able to provide the proper consultants, advisors, mentors, like all these workshops, like to guide all these children, into the right path, and look upon.
I mean, what we do right now is something like that as well. We just like spreading awareness between the youth, between the people who might be watching this, the people who might be listening to this through Apple. So you might get to know about how these about the side effects, about how these things move on, about the environmental factors. So it's indeed you should listen to it. So I mean, that is how to the people who are listening and watching, especially you have a weapon in your hand, the phone. You have a weapon in your home as well, the PC or the computer. It's the same. You can really engage. You can even spread awareness. Even one story can change one person's life. That's how it goes. That's how, even in the good way or the bad way. That's how I we thought of doing something for you all regarding drug addiction. That there are people, the youth don't speak much about it because they are like a bit reluctant about the topic, because they feel like we are not going to speak about that because it might be critical at some point. But we shouldn't be critical, because this is something that we should speak about. We should spread awareness among the people. So Rakindu, Mala, thank you very much for joining with me talking about drug addiction, and especially I hope that we're joining again soon to do another session as well. So do you have anything to wrap things up?
Yeah, I think as you said, like a lot of people should come up with like all these this type of talk shows, engage in a lot of their personal ideas, because I think the more we actually bring up our personal opinions on how we reflect different criteria of different problems, I think there might be at least one or two people who might agree with you, like just to at least like build that light for at least one or two people is actually a great thing that you're doing, because like no matter what, it's just awareness which at last matters, so I think that's like just go with what your heart tells you to do, because like as you said, different people have different opinions. We can't stop that. We have to respect each and every one of those opinions, and
yes.
As you said, no matter what, we should put out whatever we feel what's right, because before it gets too late, because there might be that one point, as you said, which might change a person's life, which may be the influential factor to do something great. So if you don't spread the message right now, I don't think you'll be depriving the whole society from moving a step further, so I think people should take that challenge and should make a change right now.
I mean, I have a small message to the youth who are listening to, the people who are listening to it and watching this. We as a youth have different opinions, right? We have different perspectives. Don't get scared to share. I mean, if you are scared to share with the public, I am here. Rakindu's there, so you can speak anything regarding any topic that you will have, any problem that you are ongoing, that we might get a little bit not influenced, you might get energetic to speak about that topic as well. So don't be ashamed, don't feel shy to anything to speak about. Just speak about, reach out people, speak about. Then like it's like something. It's like we have to always move on. We have to keep on. Like it's like journaling. Like this is medicine. It's a medicine. Journaling makes people more meditate. It's like a meditation. Like it's like writing about the whole day in a book, which makes you feel good at the end. So it's like journaling. Like if you want to reach out, we are there. So just reach out, spread awareness, and make sure that you will be a good person at the end for the society and for the country as well. So thank you, Raknimalla, for joining with me to speak
Thank you very
regarding
much.
drug addiction. Let's hope that we'll do something new in the future as well. So it's fun, and it's just fun for collaborative people. And I mean,
Same.
I believe there might be. I mean, I do believe that people got something from this. And let's end, right? So,
Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you.